This is Kenya, and we focus on Nyanza Province. The infant mortality rate here is one of the highest in Kenya, and polluted water contributes to this very high incidence. But water is also one of the basic needs, and especially for women, it's a dominating factor in their lives. Every day they spend a couple of hours just fetching water, which they use for drinking and for domestic purposes. It is the woman's task, although children will give her a helping hand. But if the child is a boy, he does not carry the water on top of his head. He likes to have some tool to help him carry the water home. Traditionally, the source of water is a natural one, a well, a pond, or a river. Here, the women bring their washing, but it's also the place where they meet each other. In 1982, the Rural Domestic Water Supply and Sanitation Program started. This program is carried out by the Kenyan Lake Basin Development Authority with the assistance of the Netherlands government. They have installed about 800 hand pumps all over the province with the aim of providing safe drinking water. The water pumps are located at community sites, and the people from the area will fetch their water from here. This project has now entered its second phase, in which the community will play a more active role. In this visual report, we show one of the pilot baseline studies. The objective of the studies was to find out if the Participatory Rural Appraisal, PRA methodology, could be used to involve the community. The PRA training of the field workers was carried out by KWAHO, one of the NGOs working in the program advisory team. The PRA team consists of 2 supervisors and 3 field workers.
Our purpose today is to visit a village called Mahanga Village of Usonga location, Boro Division, Siaya District. We are going there to get information from the beneficiaries of the proposed water.
Also, local government officials joined the team. Benedict Ochwodo of the Ministry of Public Health, William Okoth of the District Implementation Unit, and John Harrio of the Ministry of Water. Part of the PRA methodology is to involve local authorities from the start. And before the team meets the community, they have an introductory meeting with the new team members to brief them about the purpose and approach of the following 2 days.
And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us.
The team has arrived in Mahanga village. Some of the team members have already been there for a preliminary visit. At that time, they introduced the new approach and asked for the cooperation and permission of the local authorities. The chairman of the water committee organizes some people willing to accompany the team members and to show them around in the village. The villagers are very cooperative, although the village dogs still have some reservations. In PRA terms, they are going to undertake a transit, a systematic walk with some key informants throughout the area. They observe, ask, listen, look, and try to identify everything that is relevant. For example, if they have a radio and who controls it. How do they maintain their houses? Here, a villager demonstrates how to repair a roof. And this girl shows how to plaster the doorstep. She has put all her artistic skills into it. But above all, the team is interested in their water sources. The community dug this well in 1978 because a previous well had collapsed. During the rainy season, the swamp down at the other side also serves as a source of water. Gain a well. Here, the woman demonstrates how water is collected. It is groundwater, and the major problem with the water here is the salinity. Whilst walking, team members transfer their findings to a rough village sketch and notes are made. At the end of the transect, the team splits into smaller groups. This group will do a household interview here. The head of the household is not at home, but his wives are willing to help. The chairman and the secretary of the village water committee decide to join this session. After they've introduced themselves properly, the team initiates the dialogue. Winfred Olwatch, one of the team facilitators, tries to explain that they are especially interested in what the women have to say. Which are their sources of water? They mainly use the local wells, the swamp and the river. The river is about 1 mile away and it is called the Nzoia River. Another subject concerns the sources of information. The chairman reveals that outside information is communicated through a village headman, Emukuru, who collects this information during the chief's meetings called Baraza. While the discussion with these villagers continues, the camera leaves them. On their way to the second group, they meet a villager who explains the problems he has with latrines. He dug several latrines inside his homestead for his family and outside for in-laws and visitors. Already 3 latrines have collapsed. He thinks the weak soil structure is causing this problem and he does not know how to solve it. Fortunately, not all latrines collapse, as this villager shows. In another homestead, Penina Omolo and Gadura Gatonye are combining a household interview with a timeline. During a timeline, village elders are asked about the history of the community and how things were in the past. These people have no well. They fetch water from the river and during the rainy season they collect it from their roofs. The Mzee has been telling the team about the rainmaker, a woman who fetched water from the ocean, from Lake Victoria and from the river nearby. She boiled the water with herbs in a pot and then used it to direct clouds towards places where she wanted it to rain. Looking back at the good old times, the couple realized that there used to be more dancing, even at funerals. And after some encouragement, they started to dance and enjoy themselves. Now it is time to eat some fish and to drink a cup of tea, tells the woman. In the afternoon, the villagers are asked to draw a social map. Who will hold the stick? The villagers themselves. One of them has volunteered to mark the boundaries of the village. The assistant chief who has joined this session tries to direct the exercise, but he is politely asked to leave it to the community.
Everybody's going to talk and everybody's talking. You're going to end up doing nothing.
With bottle tops, homesteads are marked. This map will provide the team with a good overview of how many homesteads there are, if a homestead has its own well, and whether there is a latrine or not. Latrines are indicated by seeds, a delicate subject because some people hesitate to confess they do not have a latrine. But after one of the older people volunteers to admit it, others feel free to do so as well. The yellow flowers are a mark for wells. Now there is some discussion going on. Is there a well or not? But the women are well informed. The community knows already the future location of the new water point. According to the villagers, this is the place where the salinity is at an acceptable level. The location is marked down. From here on, there will be a group discussion. Its purpose is to list the priorities of the community and to cross-check some of the earlier findings. In the meantime, the social map drawn in the sand is being transferred onto paper. The one who held the stick during the drawing of the map has offered to do this. A few other villagers are helping him. There's discussion about how to distinguish between latrines and wells, but with different colors, the problem is solved. Mary Kibuka, one of the supervisors, explains the purpose of this meeting and that the team is here to listen and to learn from the community and not to train or to teach them.
Tumefika hapa ili kupata maoni yenu.
First, there's a discussion about the development priorities of the community. The team has asked the secretary of the water committee to make notes of the priorities. Their first priority is water. Water for drinking, for domestic purposes, and for irrigation. The map on paper is taking shape bit by bit. It is a time-consuming job, and the villagers are very serious about it. Winfred asks if the villagers know a way of improving the quality of the water by treating the water with the medicine that is given by the government. Do they have to pay for these chemicals? No, it's free. As water is regarded as the woman's responsibility, they are the main contributors in this discussion. And as the team is also interested in the activities of the women's group, they ask some questions about this subject as well. The representative of the district implementation unit explains about the purpose of the new water point. It has to serve the whole community. All adults are involved in the discussion, but the children find the camera of more interest. At the end of the afternoon, an appointment for a new group meeting is made for the next day. The next morning, Mary has an appointment with the public health worker of the community to see the place where she normally fetches water. It is 1 mile away at a river called Nzoia. What can she say about the problem she's facing, asks Mary. The main problem is that the water of the river is not clean and safe, and the water of the village well is too salty. You can't use it for tea, cooking, or even to wash clothes. In the future, if there's a community water point, would it save her time? Yes. It will give her more time to attend to her business, selling tomatoes and vegetables.
This
is our second day to visit Mahanga village. And just before we enter into the village, it is important for us to see how prepared we are with the information we collected yesterday from the community. Our last meeting, last night, we agreed that Philip would go and put the
on the basis of the discussion the night before, together with their notes and the social map, the team members discussed some more details. Philip Oyo, the PRA team secretary, has ranked the priorities of the community and made notes of the team's most important findings. This has to be verified by the community, as has the social map.
We were going which way? This way?
We went this way.
After prayers, the chairman opens the meeting by saying that until now, the community has been exchanging all kinds of information with their visitors, but he hopes the discussion this morning will focus on water, because that is their first priority. Philip reads out his notes about the priorities. The villagers have ranked water as their first priority. Second priority are the latrines. Third, posho mills, followed by a tractor and a dam for the cattle. Then he reveals what the team has learned from the community. Almost everything was found to be correct, although this woman comments that cassava is their major food source and not maize, as was mentioned. Time to do the verification of the social map. The community is very interested in the map. The drawer explains about what the map shows and where certain homesteads are located. Sometimes it's a little bit difficult to become orientated, but in a short while, everybody knows where his or her homestead is located and what details are given about the latrines and wells. To be sure that everybody agrees on the map, Philip asks the community to raise their hands. From this point on, the discussion is about future actions. Now a difficult subject, cost sharing, comes up. The cost should be paid by every head of a homestead, regardless if he has one wife or more, is the opinion of this man. It is for the women to decide, the chairman corrects him. The women feel it's fair that every wife should pay an amount of 10 shillings per month. At the end of the meeting, Philip summarizes the community's plan of action regarding cost sharing and community participation in implementation and maintenance. It is agreed that the community will inform the Rural Domestic Water Supply and Sanitation Program when they have raised the required amount of money, and then they will meet for the construction of the well. After closing the meeting, the team came to know that there was a women's group meeting going on. But when they arrived at the meeting place, they found that the meeting had already ended. However, the women of the village didn't want us to leave before they gave us some entertainment by singing a song about the hard-working women of this area who are all equal.